संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We shall begin this study by chanting two verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. You can all join me. Om Parthaya प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि. भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. We were studying the verse in the second chapter, and it was a continuation of the 14th verse itself. Explanation of why should we have the endurance titiksha. That is the 15th verse. Yam hina vyatayantete purusham purusharshava samadhukka sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. We shall chant this verse. That is the 15th verse in the second chapter. Yam hina vyatayantete. Please chant this verse after me. Yam hina vyatayantete. Yam hina vyatayantete. Purusham purusharshabha. Purusham purusharshaba samasukha samadhukha sukham dhiram samadhukha sukham dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate somrutatvaya kalpate. O Arjuna, that person whom these sense organs and the sense objects which coming into contact our mind through them gives us pain and pleasure and all the other dualities of this world. So, if it does not disturb him, if he learns this quality of endurance, that is titiksha, if that person is equanimous in pain and pleasure, is not elated when he gets pleasure, and is not depressed when there is problem and challenges, so such a person Krishna is calling dhira. Dhira means courageous. Here, courageous in the sense wise person. He is the wise person alone. So who is the wise person? Who is courageous person alone? Who can withstand all the problems in life without getting disturbed in life. So why should we endure all the pain and pleasure and everything? We should not be disturbed. We should keep our mind in a equanimous state. Then only we will become fit for immortality, to realize God. We become fit to realize God or realize our true nature only if we develop this character. That is the reason why so much of importance is given to this titiksha. Lord Krishna says this faculty of endurance, forbearance of all the difficulties and everything in life, it gives you inner strength, which is called or nature in our spiritual life or any life for that sake, even worldly life too. This is very, very important. So mental and emotional endurance, forbearance, not to react immediately, not to get irritated immediately, not to punish the other person immediately. Because when endurance is very less, we get irritated very quickly. And that irritation alone becomes anger, and anger alone becomes violent or himsa. So we will become violent and we will get into the mode of himsa. So ultimately, lack of forbearance or endurance or titiksha alone is the cause of all the problems in our life. So it will aggravate all the problems. So that's why not only from the worldly sense or any other sense and spiritual sense, this quality of endurance, titiksha, is very, very important. See, so Krishna is telling about that in both the verses. Earlier, he gave the details of what is that. That is the 14th verse. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama apayino anitya hatam titikshasva bharata. When your sense organs bring out the mind from within you, they are the doorways or windows for sense objects which we like, we get happiness, pleasure. So that is given by the word heat and cold, shita ushna. Then if you don't like something, if you come into contact with that person or thing, you will get aversion, dvesha, hatred, aversion. Then you get pain and pleasure. Whenever you get something which is very, very pleasing, you like, then you become happy. Then you don't like something, then you become unhappy. So that is what is the cause of all the problems. Your sense, your identification with your this sense objects, and the sense is the cause of all the problems. So as I told you, the yogic way, in the last class I told how you should go to the root cause and then obliterate the root cause, then the problem will be automatically solved. All the times we are trying to solve the problems at the superficial or skin deep level, and we will get into deeper and deeper problems. Now, and while we saw in that Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, the 14th verse, what is that? An endless number of pairs of opposites make up the world. This whole universe is nothing but endless pairs of opposites. Everything. See, even in the gospel, Sri Ramakrishna uses this something like that. What is that? Kama Kanchana. And again, that is also 2 in number. What is that Kama Kanchana? Kama means desire or lust. Kanchana means greed. So the whole universe, if you simplify, that like in algebra, in mathematics, everything will be simplified to the value of x and y. Like that, it will come down to boil down to the whole universe. These pairs of opposites make up this whole world. Contacts made with the world are said to cause all these happiness and pain, heat and cold, joy and sorrow. These pairs of opposite symbolizes the external experiences of the physical world and internal experiences of the mind. All are transient. They are fleeting. They are temporary. They pass away. Some of the examples of this pair of opposite can be cited. War and peace, birth and death, profit and loss, good and bad, pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, and ad infinitum, comes and goes. Your life is a continuous flow of experiences of these transitory opposites. Neither one of each pair of opposite is permanent. No experience is permanent. You need to deal with every experience with a clear understanding of its impermanent nature. Now, the whole of your life is spent in expecting good things and warding off bad things. So, you will get this attachment, aversion, attachment, aversion. So, if you are spending your life in this infinitum, ad infinitum, then where is the time for you to think of higher things, lead a higher life? So, whole of your life is wasted in that. In the childhood, you are wasting in games, playing. So, every time the whole world is full of chocolate and gingerbread and other things, everything is wasted. Then you come to the primary school and other things, again everything is wasted in so many other things. Then youth in search of happiness, going here and there, search of opposites, you are wasting your life. When you come to your middle age, you want to marry and settle down. So where is the time for achieving your goal or higher aspects of your life? So you are simply wasting your time. So in this verse, yam hinam vitayante te purusham purusharshaba samadukha sukham dhiram. So if you develop this endurance, then if you are not disturbed by this pair of opposites, then you have lot of time to achieve something in your goal. Otherwise, your life will be wasted. An extroverted person focuses mainly on the sense organs and their contacts with the sense objects. He develops endless desires for the acquisition and enjoyments of the world. These unfulfilled desires cause him mental agitation. He suffers sorrow in life, whereas an introverted person focuses his attention more on the inner self than the outer objects and beings. He remains determined in his purpose to reach the self, that is God, or you can call by any other name. He remains balanced in pain and pleasure. Such a person alone qualifies to gain immortality, the ultimate state of self-realization or God realization. So here, ete yamhina vyatayanti ete, these, it refers to the earlier there where Krishna told about this sense contacts mentioned in the previous verse. Now we shall go deeper into these wonderful subject and enjoy it. Now you have to see in India, some parts of India, during the New Year, we have seen in our own childhood, especially the Indian New Year, it's called Yugadi. The very first thing early in the morning, our pre-monastic mothers, when we were there as children, they used to do puja of a neem leaf. It's very, very bitter, but it is very healthy. And jaggery, it's called good. In Hindi it is called good, jaggery in English. So they used to mix this both, the bitter neem leaf and then sweet good jaggery. Mix it and offer it to God. The very first thing on the New Year, this would be after offering given to us. As small children, our nature is to pick up only jaggery, search the jaggery, the sweet thing, and we will try to avoid the bitter neem leaf. But natural, everybody wants, even the elderly people will do the same thing in life. What are we going to do? We'll try to take only the good things of the life. We don't want the problems and troubles. So as small children, we want to take only the jaggery. Then our mother used to tell, no, my dear child, to take both. Life is full of these opposites. Problems, troubles, sorrow will come. And that is indicated by bitter neem. And jaggery indicates the pleasures, the happiness in your life. So you have to take it equally. That is the reason on the first day of the new year. So what do we do in our new year here? Take alcohol and fall on the road. Going here and there, this is the way we get our training in our new year. But here you see how our culture, Indian culture is giving us, telling us, our mothers used to tell us, small children we are getting this training. What is that? Life will be a combination of both pain and pleasure, happiness and sorrow, these dualities. So that is indicated by this bitter neem and the jaggery good. So it is always combined. Don't try to take only one thing. Take it equanimously. Then you will learn to take everything in a balanced way. Your mind will be equanimous. It will not be disturbed. And one of the gentlemen was a very great man somewhere in India. So he was telling his children, what is that? To his son, what is that? My dear child, if you have to he would always take more of the bitter neem than the jaggery. Then when somebody told you have to take it equally, why are you taking more neem? It is indicative of that so much of bitterness and problems of the life. My dear child, if you face too much of problem in your life, if you take the bitterness in your life, then you can enjoy the happiness of your life more. Those people who have undergone a lot of problems in their life, they will get so much of inner strength that they can withstand anything, any problems, any challenges in life, and then they can only enjoy the real happiness of life. That is to be noted. So, see here, you have to make it more practical. This is just high philosophy. Until you connect this to your life and make it more practical, and then only if you make it practical, then you can enjoy these verses of Bhagavad Gita. Now, the person whom these sense organs do not disturb, who is equanimous in pain and pleasure, his mind will not be disturbed whatever comes. That person is called wise, the man of wisdom, Dhira, Krishna is telling. Then he alone becomes fit for immortality. So Krishna says this faculty of endurance of inner strength, which is called titiksha, is very, very important. Forbearance, titiksha, sahana. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to tell, in the Bengali alphabet, in the Avargiya Vyanjana, that's in the consonant, there are two types of consonant in our Indian alphabets, Sanskrit and everything. What is Vargiya Vyanjana? It is grouped. Avargiya Vyanjana, that is the consonant which is not grouped. In that we get ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa. But in Bengali, everything is pronounced as sha, sha, sha. So in Bengali, sha means forbear. So in the alphabet, Ramakrishna has to tell 3 times you get the word forbear, forbear, forbear. Sha, sha, sha. Master used to tell that. So in the life, there will be difficulty. You have to learn to forbear it. Whatever it is, forbear, forbear. Students there, all adolescent student, I was in charge of some institution where I had to look after them. So the parents used to come and always tell, Swamiji, we grew up in a lot of difficulties. There was poverty. Our parents put us into a lot of difficulties. So we don't want that. Our children should face difficulty. They should be always happy. So we are giving them a lot of facility. I used to tell them, you are doing a great mistake. You are putting your children into a lot of problem. Bring your children in difficulty. Because you faced difficulty, you have become strong in your character. If the children do not face difficulty, even the smallest difficulty they face in their life will shake them or trouble them. We are training all our children for success and success and success. Has anybody even thought of training your children for failures? Not even one single person. You may be knowing the tiger or the lion was taken up by a person into the home, and he looked after this animal, so much of love and care, giving it all the food and everything at its bed or the place wherever it is. So it became very put to the forest. Ordinary dogs killed that and it died. The strongest lion was killed by ordinary street dogs and it had to die. Why? It didn't know how to hunt. It didn't know how to face problem. It was looked after with so much of great care. It never faced any problem. Ordinary dogs chased it, hunted it and killed them. Killed that lion, which is the king of the forest. So instead of making your children lions and king, you are making them weak buddies, whereby even the smallest problem will put them into turmoil. They cannot face it. That's why you see some of the cities have become capitals of suicides. I have seen in Bangalore, the new watching the TV. The mother wanted to watch some other serial, the daughter wanted to watch another thing. So the mother took away the remote and she changed the channel. The daughter got upset, she went to the room and committed suicide. I'm not just exaggerating, this was the news I'm telling you. Silly reasons, they do not know the value of life. Why? You are not trained them for failures, for problems. Even the smallest thing will put them into problem. I have heard one American special personality development trainer, he is telling the parents, always learn to tell no to many things to your children. Don't give them all the facilities. They do not know the value of that. And what will they do? They will think that I can get more. They will start comparing with others. They do not know the difficulties you are facing to earn that money. They will be always comparing with others. See, that fellow gave me a motorbike. You are giving only an ordinary bicycle to me. And when you give the motorcycle, that parent has given them the car, you are giving only motorcycle to me. So they go on comparing, they do not know what is the difficulty of life, and you will be spoiling your children. That's why teach them endurance, sahanam. Learn to tell no to many things to you. Let them know the value of the life and money and earning and everything. So you have to be, see here, it is a lesson for all of us. Krishna is teaching in a many beautiful ways. Lack of endurance alone is the cause of the latter problems. So we have to go back to the beautiful subject again, titiksha. Let us take the example of Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, very great president of our order. He is explaining about this verse, Yam hinam vyatayante te purusham purusharshaba samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. He or she who is not thrown down by any of these experiences, happiness or misery, cold or heat, samadukha sukham dhiram, the courageous one who is even-minded in dukkha, grief, and sukha, happiness, somritatvaya kalpate. That person alone can achieve immortality. He or she can realize the Lord Atman or Paramatman or Parabrahman, which is immortality. This is a tremendous capacity. And Ranganathanji Maharaj is giving the example of freedom fighting in India. Even in our political struggle for independence from the British, Ranganathanji Maharaj is quoting, we have seen that some of the leaders were men of character and they had the capacity to withstand pressures from outside. They didn't break down. They stood it. It is sad that we are losing it now. Now we have to regain it once again. Now Ranganathanji Maharaj is explaining, I remember reading it in the papers when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel one of the great freedom fighters. He was called the Iron Man of India, who united India, which was to be broken away by all the other political leaders and the British. They wanted to see a balkanized India. It was due to this Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Now whatever you see, the present India is because of him. Otherwise, it would have been into many more pieces, smaller pieces. So it's called Iron Man of India. So what should be his character? So his life, about one incident from his life, Revered Maharaj is mentioning. I remember about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He was a great advocate. He was arguing in a court, in a case in the court, and he was arguing for some of the freedom fighters, the revolutionaries, who were to be put into the gallows for some of the mistakes. They would be hanged. So he was fighting to save their life. Now, this Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, when he was arguing in the court, a man delivered a telegram to him. He was arguing in the court for them, those other revolutionaries or freedom fighters. He was there in the court, the judge is there, he got a telegram. In olden days we had telegram, now we don't have that system of telegram. Maybe younger generation do not know what is telegram. They will think some app like WhatsApp and other things, telegram. No, in olden days, the telegram system was there, whereby any other sudden news is very fast to travel. There would be, even we were taught in higher English courses for the telegram writing also. It should be very short, it should be with meaning, and there were many jokes about telegram English also, whatever that. So it would be very small thing, any immediate thing, and very fast. You have to get the news from some other place. They used to do that with the telegram. So now a telegram came to him quickly. That was a immediate news. It had come to him. What did he do? He saw that. Then he put it into pocket. Then again went on arguing for those people, the freedom fighters. He just read it, put it in his pocket, continued his arguments. And then after the arguments, when those 7 or 8 freedom fighters were put away from gallows, they were saved. Then he went home to see his dead wife. The telegram news was that his wife has. See the strength of character, endurance, sahana. He continued his duty, line of duty. Then when the next day when he came back to the court and when he saw the judge, that judge told, yes, I came to know that telegram was of your death of your wife, and you just continued and you did your duty, and you never cried or broke down or you ran away from the court. We would have excused you because that was a very bad news. We would have allowed you to go. Why did you continue? People is important. My life, my wife's life is gone. She's dead now. I can't bring her back, but I can save the life of these people. So I had to continue. He did his duty. Then he went to perform his other duty, the funeral duties. See that character, see that endurance. What beautiful example now Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is giving. How many of us can withstand that shock calmly? It is not for want of love. Love for his wife was there, but that sahana, endurance, you see that. But something more was there, the capacity to withstand the ups and downs of life. That is called character. They are called men of character. A good deal of courage is needed to go beyond the pulse of the physical system, nervous system, psychic system, and realize the truth, that is the Atman that is behind all this. That strength we have to develop from now onwards. That is why high character strength is necessary for spiritual development. One has to cultivate that strength which one has by oneself. Nobody can help you. You have to cultivate that yourself. No one can purchase it for money. Yourself. Other people can help you, guide you, but the work is your own. This human life, this packet of psychophysical energy, I must learn to cultivate in the right way so that the best harvest will come. Best harvest is realizing one's own true nature, by which you can go beyond death as the immortal self, the Atman. So, Ramakrishna used to sing a Bengali song composed by one great devotee of Divine Mother, Ramaprasad. And what is the beginning of that song? O mind, you do not know the art of farming. Nowadays, India was a country of agriculture, agrarian culture. So here that great poet and a devotee of Mother Kali, Ramaprasad, is beginning this song with, O mind, you do not know the art of farming. रे मोन तुम्ही कृषि काज जानो ना एमोन मानव जमी रोइलो पोतित. Now, what is the meaning of that in Bengali? Such rich field of human life is lying fallow, which if cultivated, the harvest of gold. O mind, you do not know how to farm. Farming of what? Your life. If you had little patience, you could have developed all these things. That is the wonderful thing. Now, so we have to go further, still deeper into this aspect of sahana or titiksha. We have to get deeper into that because that will help us a lot in our life. That's why Krishna has given 2 verses for this wonderful thing called titiksha. So let me take you through that. That is called titiksha, and it is explained by Shankaracharya in one of his Prakarana Grantha. It is called Prakarana Grantha because, it brings out, see in the Bhagavad Gita, you see that all the sadhanas, the spiritual practices are hidden here and there. You have to search it and put it into one place. In the Prakarana Granthas, many of the great saints or the acharyas have brought it step by step, gradually, in a very systematic way. They are called Prakarana Granthas. One of the famous Prakarana Grantha written by none other Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya is Viveka Chudamani. What is the meaning of this Viveka Chudamani? The crest jewel of discrimination. In that, the 26th verse, the 24th verse in that Viveka Chudamani is Sahanam Sarva Dukkhanam Apratipkara Purvakam Chinta Vilaparahitam Sa Titiksha Negatyate. The bearing of all afflictions without caring to redress them, being free at the same time from anxiety or lament on their score. In this verse, we are given a classical definition of titiksha. It means a capacity for endurance with a cheerful disposition. He who endures survives. Endurance is a very much essential for a healthy human life. How many different types of experiences come to us? Many of them unpleasant and painful. We have to gain the capacity to stand steady in every such situation. The present verse, that is the Viveka Chudamani, the 24th verse, not the Bhagavad Gita verse, I am talking of Kanam. The present verse says that the bearing of all afflictions is called titiksha or forbearance. Now, but mere withstanding or bearing doesn't make true titiksha. Then how are we to forbear the problems of our life? There are 2 conditions to be fulfilled. What is that? Firstly, the bearing of afflictions should be without caring to redress them. And secondly, the act of bearing should be free from anxiety or lament, apratikara purvakam. And also, you should not have any revengeful attitude, apratikara purvakam. Now, externally you may be very calm and quiet, but internally you will be burning inside. Let me get a chance and I am going to give him back nicely. So, not with that idea. These are the 2 conditions that impart an element of heroism in the act of endurance. Now, here Swami Vivekananda gives a beautiful example of titiksha in his inspired talks. What is that beautiful example? A mosquito sat on the horn of a bull. After some time, the mosquito felt a little qualm of conscience, thinking that it was troubling the bull. So, it told, Mr. Bull, I'm sorry. I have been troubling you all the time. Now, I will not trouble you. My weight might be troubling you. So, I'm not going to put my weight on your horns. I'm going away. But the bull replied. What was the reply of the bull? No, Mr. Mosquito. Continue to sit on my horn. It doesn't trouble me at all. Bring your whole family and sit there. That is Titiksha, says Swami Vivekananda. Let problems come, let it come. I'm not bothered. I have God with me to withstand it. I have the support of my Ishta Devata. I'm not going to be troubled by any amount of difficulties. Let it come. One of the great saint called Purandaradasa, he has written, Bandaddella Barali Govindana Dayayandirali. Meaning, let all the troubles come to me, but let the grace of Lord Govinda be there with me, then this will not harm me at all. It will not trouble me at all, even in the least. So this is Titiksha. When we have a heroic spirit, we are able to endure cheerfully. I told you last time or the other last time about Titiksha. What is that? How to convert calamity into opportunity. So that is Titiksha. You have to convert the calamity or the challenges or problem into opportunity. See, the worldly minded, the business people, they converted the whole of COVID into an opportunity. How is that? By making money, selling the masks and other kits, and they immediately, they were not troubled by the problems of the COVID. They started making money out of it. See, if the worldly people can convert, the greedy people can convert the calamity into opportunity, why can't you good people convert internally this wonderful calamity or any other problems of your life into an opportunity to turn it, give it a spiritual turn or a high turn? So somebody abuses us and we don't mind. It doesn't touch us at all. We cheerfully go ahead. This is endurance. I will give you another example of Lord Buddha that may help us. What is that? Buddha, as usual, Lord Buddha, he was going every day for begging alms. So when he went there to beg, the sannyasins are supposed to leave an alms. So Buddha was leading. He went and he was asking for the alms. So the owner of that house came out, he saw Buddha, he hated Buddha, he didn't like him. So he started abusing him, scolding him, using the choices of the abusers and scolding him and criticizing him. Buddha stood there calmly. And after all the scolding and abuses, he was so tired of it, then he stopped. Then Buddha calmly replied to him, "Are you finished?" Now he couldn't further because he is completely tired, exhausted of scolding and criticizing. "Are you finished?" "Yes." "Now, can you answer my question?" "Yes." He's calm and quiet in spite of all the abuses and the problems. Then he told, "Suppose you had bought me alms. Okay, you didn't give me alms now for my begging, but you gave me a lot of scoldings and other things. Suppose you had bought alms and given food to me. Whom will that food belong to? To you. Because I have given that to you, that food will belong to you. Suppose when you bring food and give it to me, I refuse it, I don't take it. Then whom will that food belong to? To me. Why? Because you have refused it. It is mine. So I have refused all your scoldings and criticism." And Buddha went away calmly. So whom that scolding belongs to now? See what a wonderful attitude. See, why can't we learn these things? It's in the life of Lord Buddha. This happened in the life of Buddha. How can we overcome? How can we nicely change the whole situation in your stride? See, these are all the wonderful examples from the life of great people that we have to learn. Now, Somebody abuses us and we don't mind, it doesn't touch us at all. We cheerfully go ahead. This is endurance. When there is no true endurance, we may be quite outwardly, but inwardly we may be thinking about the insult, inflating the issue and making the situation more miserable. Thereby, we become our own enemies. We are becoming our own enemies because I asked some people, in Johannesburg, one lady had come and she was complaining about their in-laws, telling that they trouble me like this and that and that. The husband hears the word of the mother-in-law and he has, scolded me. Then she was worrying and every time the same complaint. Then I asked her, mother, how many times did your husband or your mother-in-law scold you? Maybe once or twice. Then your husband, maybe twice. Now, how many times have you relived that scolding past this 1 year? Maybe 1,000 times. So who is the culprit? Your husband or mother-in-law or you? Because you have punished yourself 1,000 times with the same insult on yourself. Who is the culprit? Greater culprit? Your husband scolding once or twice? Your mother-in-law criticizing you once or twice? Or you reliving that and scolding yourself, thinking about that again and again and injuring your personality by that 1,000 times? Who is the greater culprit? I asked her. That's what we are all doing. Don't laugh about that lady there. What are we doing? Every one of us doing the same thing. Just go back to your life and watch what we are doing. We are punishing ourselves than anybody. So who is the enemy? Our own enemy? We are our enemies. If you don't have endurance, we are the greatest of enemies of ourselves. So, thereby we become our own enemies. If we cheerfully endure and forget, the mind remains undisturbed and we gain inner strength. Without this quality of endurance, there is no hope of survival, even at the physical level, let alone spiritual level. Even at the physical level, you don't have hope of survival. The organic system has inbuilt strength of physical endurance. I took you through that from the subject of physics called resilience. I gave you the different meaning. Even a dead object has that resilience. If you put pressure on that, it will bounce back and come back to its normal equilibrium. It is there in the dead objects like wood and sponge and everything. That's called resilience. And in human beings, we have more of it. And we don't use it, manifest it. Whatever you don't use, you have that strength within you. Because you are not using it, you are losing it. I think in the line of the theory of evolution of Charles Darwin, there came another scientist called Lamarck. So that Lamarck's theory of use and disuse, I think you may be knowing if you have studied, that Lamarck's theory of use and disuse theory is whatever in the evolution process, whatever the animals were not using it, they become defunct. You lose it. If the doctors will be knowing, in your anatomy you have spleen, you have appendix. What is the use? Only you have to make a surgery and cut it off and take it now. There will be appendicitis and other problems. The spleen and many other things are there, don't have the use. But in the animals, they had to eat grass. There was cellulose. So to break down that cellulose, the cellulase were there in the spleen. But we are not all eating now boiled food and everything, cooked food, so we don't eat grass. So the animals needed it. Now we don't need. So that organ has become defunct. So like that, so many organs. Earlier we all had tail when we were like apes. They tell that in the theory of evolution we have come from apes, monkeys. So we had the tail. Because of the balancing, we were on the trees. So we may fall down. So with the help of balancing, they need the tail. So once we started walking on the ground and living on the ground and the flat surfaces, there was no need of the tail. So we lost that capacity. Go and start living on the tree again, you will develop it again. It is there, the faculty is there. So use and disuse theory is whatever you don't use. So if you don't use your intelligence, that will also go away. So somebody was telling the jellyfish, jellyfish has survived for 50 million years without brain. So don't worry. Even without brain, because 50 million years the jellyfish has survived, it seems, without brain. He doesn't have brain. But God has given you this endurance, this capacity of discrimination, discerning, viveka. And if you don't use it, you will lose it. You have endurance, everybody. It can bounce back, whatever might be the difficulties. That is called adaptation. In the theory of evolution, again, it's called adaptation. You can adapt to anything. So now, we are not using it. We are not exerting it. So exert it, and it will come back to you. So this can be seen in the animals as well as in the human world. But for human beings, along with physical endurance, there has to be mental strength to cheerfully face the ups and downs of life and remain steady. Because human life is not just physical and psychic, and it is also spiritual as well. We are continuously tormented by ups and downs of life in the form of joy and sorrow, success and failure, honor and humiliation, etc. Contrasting types of experiences come to us, tossing our minds into varying moods of elation and dejection. There are troubles coming from various levels. Certain types of troubles may be controlled at the physical level, but troubles beyond our control should be withstood. What cannot be cured has to be endured. But troubles beyond our control should be withstood. That which cannot be cured must be endured. We have to forbear such sufferings of life without caring to redress them. Apratikara purvakam, not with revengeful attitude. There should be no reactionary expression from our side. We have to just bear them without anxiety or lament. Chinta vilaparahitam. There should be no complaint in the mind. Then you are grieving, you are complaining. We have to forbear with a sense of joy and full acceptance of the situation. In course of enduring, if you feel miserable and unhappy, it is not titiksha. So then what would be like? Yes, on Ekadashis or on special days or some other festival or some vrata, what do? Upavasa. What is upavasa? In English it's called fasting, but it has a different name in our scriptures. So let me come to that afterwards. Now, what do? On Ekadashis or on special days you have to fast. So all the time you will be feeling miserable thinking about food. Now they are preparing wonderful food there, you are fasting, and that aroma comes to your nose. My God, should this Ekadashi come on this day? They are preparing so many good things and I can't eat it. You are suffering and suffering. Is that titiksha? Is that fasting? Is that upavasa? There is no virtue in such fasting. When we fast, we have to do with joy, fully accepting the deprivation of food. Similarly, when we endure, when there is titiksha, we have to maintain. This is called titiksha, endurance. Now, another thing which we have to think about is, what is the meaning of upavasa? In English it's called fasting, giving up food. What is the meaning in Sanskrit about upavasa? The same term. It is not giving up food. Upavasa means living near God. Upa means near. Vasa means to live. See the ocean of difference between the term fasting and upavasa. So upavasa means living near God. Upavasa. So to live near God, to think of God, if you are eating and eating and eating, your energy of your body, everything will be spent on digesting your thing instead of giving you strength. So you will become not focused on God. That's why on special days, they will reduce the food to the capacity of your body endurance. You may give up one time food, you can give up some salt, you can give up water, you can give up something. So to your capacity. So Shivaratri we used to do Nirjala Upvasa. And some people even in India now, they will do on Ekadashis Nirjala Upvasa. We were also doing as brahmacharins. Now when a lot of work has to be done, we may fall down tired or something. So to do the work, ours is Karma Yoga, we take something, bird, vegetable or something. Now see here, when we reduce the food or don't take all those things, what happens is your sense organs, your mind will not become rajasic or tamasic, it will be alert because all your energy is saved. So with that alert mind, concentrated mind, the mind which is not disturbed, you can focus on God. That is the meaning of Upavasa in our religion. See, the term itself is so beautiful. Upavasa, living near God, not giving up food. Giving up food is only one aspect of it. Why should I give up food? It is for concentrating my mind on God. So, a great saying of Swami Vivekananda is, our goal is neither austerity nor luxury. Our goal is neither austerity, that is all depriving everything and the torturing your body, and other thing is austerity. Neither austerity nor luxury, or going on having all the luxuries and just wasting your life. No, neither of them are not our. That's neither austerity nor luxury. Then what's our goal? God realization. All the things which we are doing is, our goal should be God realization. Many people come and tell, I will become a monk, I want to join the order. I first ask them, why? Why do you want to become a monk? Because a lot of people come and bow down to you, you get a lot of good food here, you think that there will be a lot of rest for you and nobody will be troubling you, you will lead a very peaceful life. No, if that is the reason, don't become a monk now. Then why? God realization should be your goal. Then only you can become a monk. God realization, the nature of your true nature is to be realized. Then only you can become monk. Because we have more problems than you, more challenges than you. But they will not touch us, they will not trouble us, that's all. We have more problems. We have endured more problems than what you can even imagine. But that will not touch us because our goal is God realization. When you have a higher goal, the smaller problems will not trouble you. That is the main thing. Mother Sharda Devi tells, if you have the name of God on your lips and thinking of God, then the problems of life, the river of the problems of life will be just flowing under your feet. The name of God or God will be the support like a bridge, and you will be seeing problems will come. Even to the realized soul, problem will come, but it will not touch him, it will not trouble him. That is the important thing. Now we have studied so much about titiksha, endurance. We will go on saying some other aspect of it. I think in the next thing, I will also take up the preparation for titiksha in the Vedantic way and the yogic way. What is that preparation? The preparation is Shama, Dama, Uparati. So in Vedanta, the first step for the mind control, sense control is Shama, then Dama and Uparati, then comes Titiksha. That is the step-by-step process we have to do the sadhana in Vedanta. So I will take up that in the next class because I have very little time. Let me continue the conversation on this topic, that is Yam Hinam Vyatayante Te Purusham Purusharshaba Samadukka Sukam Dhiram Somrutatvaya Kalpate. Now Lord Krishna wants to solve Arjuna's problem of sorrow. Because now what was the first chapter? Arjuna's melancholy, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Arjuna's dejection. because he was in trouble. Now he's facing all the problems. So Lord Krishna wants to solve the problem of this Arjuna, the sorrow and confusion. And also Krishna wants him to perform his duty. What is the duty of Arjuna as a warrior? He has to fight the righteous war. But for us, our duty is different. The lawyer has to argue, the doctor has to look after the patients. So our duty, Swadharma, is different. Everybody's duty is different. So you have to perform your duty. You should not be troubled by the problems of your life. So that is what Krishna is preparing Arjuna. Is it not practical for you? You should not be troubled by all the problems of your life, but you should be nicely performing your duty to your country, to your family and everything. Is it not wonderful? See, this Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is preparing you to such a wonderful thing. So here, and therefore, he is arguing, Lord Krishna is arguing with Arjuna from various angles to make Arjuna perform his duty. And his discussion is at 3 levels. The first is the highest, the philosophical level, which we can call Atma, Anatma, Viveka. The discrimination or the discerning between the real and the unreal, the eternal and the ephemeral. And then Krishna comes down one step. What is that? Ethical level, moral level. That is Dharma, Adharma, Viveka. The righteous and the unrighteous, that discerning thing he is bringing, coming to the next level. And finally, Lord Krishna comes down to the Laukika, worldly level, or the Vyavaharika. What is Vyavaharika? Practical level, the day-to-day level, practical level, worldly angle. And Krishna points out that from any angle you see, you have to perform your duty. Of these 3 levels, Krishna is now in this second chapter, that's why it's called Sankhya Yoga. The first and topmost, that is from the 12th verse onwards to the 25th verse, Krishna is taking through that highest philosophical level, Gnana Marga. And here Krishna is talking about the nature, the true nature of yours. What is your true nature? He is discussing about the Atman, the Parabrahman, which is the real nature of everyone. And Krishna's contention is, when you take the real nature, that Atman, that your true self is Akarta. It doesn't get into, it is not attached to anything. It is not the doer, it is the witness. Therefore, it does not perform any action. So therefore, Arjuna, as Atman, the true nature, you are not fighting this war. You are not killing anyone at all. And similarly, Bhishma, Drona, and all the other kith and kin of yours, they are also the same nature, Atma Swarupa. And they are also not killed by you. It is only the body which is being destroyed. Remember the example when you look at the wave in the ocean. From the standpoint of the wave or the bubble on the water has got a birth as well as death as well as existence for maybe few seconds or minutes or hours. The wave or the bubble on the ocean. So you see the essential nature of the wave, that is water. From the standpoint of water, it is neither born nor it gets destroyed. If you look at the disk as Atma Drishtya, from the higher philosophical angle, that is as your true nature, the Parabrahman or Atman, Arjuna, you are not the destroyer, or you are not going to injure anybody, and also you are not abhokta. There is no killer, there is no killed relationship. This is the philosophical or the highest angle for this purpose. Now Krishna is talking about the nature of Atman. In the 12th verse, Krishna said Atman is eternal. Eternal means it was in the past, it was in the present, and it is in the future also. Whereas when you look Anatma, that is the unreal things, the fleeting things of this world, what now Krishna discussed in the Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya and this verse, they are subject to change, modification. So that is the 14th verse we discussed about. So this body-mind complex and the external things are ephemeral. You cannot expect the immortal body. The body has to die. Then all the things outside has to disintegrate. So once upon a time in our Ayurvedic system, even now it is there, they were talking about a thing called Kaya Kalpa. I had even gone to one of the Ayurvedic center. Very rarely you get that Vidya. It was given by Indra to some of the rishis, because in olden days the rishis and munis used to be in the forest and do lot of tapasya austerities, meditate, and they would not reach the goal of God realization, the highest thing, and they would become old and they may die. So the rishis went to Indra. See, in the old age we cannot perform our sadhana, spiritual practice, so we need strength. Can you give us some special vidya by which we can regain our youth and we can perform our activities nicely? Otherwise we have to again die and take a new body, again we have to continue our sadhana, but we don't want to disturb our spiritual practice. Can you give some vidya? Then Lord Indra gave them this vidya of Kaya Kalpa. What is that? If you take that some special medicine and special sadhana, if you do, you should not expose yourself to the sunlight for 3 months, and you have to be on a food of amalaka. There is a special thing called amalaka and some other chemicals they will add and make it and give you. You have to take only that thing for 3 months, then you will get back your youth. Everything. You will become a youthful person. So that system, you should not be exposed to the sunlight. You have to take only that special churna or some other medicines that has been given as food, and you have to stay there and perform some of the sadhanas. Then you will regain back your youth. That's called Kaya Kalpa. Arjuna gave that to them. Later on, the king and the emperors, they misused it and they started using for pleasure. But that was given for the higher sadhana. So that is there in Ayurveda, Kaya Kalpa. But that body will survive. It may survive for 150 years, 200 years, but after that it has to die. It's of no use. So you may live for 1,000 years, but the 1,001 year you have to die when your karma is over. So here they may live up to 100 years, but youthfully, for the sake of sadhana, they were using it so that their body will be youthful and they can perform their sadhana without any problem, the spiritual practice. So the Kaya Kalpa is there. The difficult process of making that medicine 100 times, you have to make that paste again, dissolve it, and you have to dry it again and again. And once the medicine is made, it is supposed to make the body immortal. Means only the body will be youthful, that's all, but it will die one day. So that's called Kaya Kalpa, making the body live for a long time. But whether that may be 100 years or 120 years, that person, when his age or that thing is over, the body has to go. Now, what is the use of such thing? You can go on making the paste and there is no method of immortalizing the body. In many of the countries, especially the Western countries, and you can also see in the Egyptian civilization too, by using so much of chemicals, they were trying to mummify that body and preserve it so that one fine day if they can come back to life and make your body immortal. For 1,000 years the mummy is staying there and it can't come back to life. And even now the medical science, they are doing so much of research to keep this life. Suppose if they are successful and if they give some medicines and they can live eternally, what is going to happen? There will be no place for you to survive. Then there will be, from the 8th century or 6th century, people will be living there with you. There will be so much of confusion and pell-mell. If you live for another 200 years, nobody to recognize you. No people of your generation, you can't talk anything. It happened with one of the king. What is that? That king wanted to go to Brahma. At that, in the Satya Yuga, they had the capacity, they could go to Brahma Loka. His young daughter, he took that small daughter and went to the Satya Loka. Satya Loka is where Brahma lives. So now the time sense varies in Brahma Loka and this Loka. So now he went there. Brahma was playing on his veena or hearing the veena played by Mother Saraswati. Then he opened his eyes to see the Raja. How much of time did you spend here? Only 5 minutes. You are hearing the veena played by Mother Saraswati. My God, what What happened? 5 minutes of Brahmaloka is maybe 50 or 500 million years in your earth. All your generation will have gone now. What will you do? He went back, his palace is not there, the size of the people is different, no traces of his kingdom, some other people are living. What to do now? Now Brahma told, okay, go. At that time it was the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna and Balarama was there. Anyhow, he told, I am already old now, when I have enjoyed my life, I will go to Tapasya, but my daughter is so young and she will not have her life at all. I told, you go, and she was married to Balarama, the brother of Krishna. Balarama married her. So that comes in the Bhagavata and other stories. So now if you start living for 200 years or 300 years, just imagine if all people are living like that, what is going to happen? There will be so much of confusion. That's why death is a boon. You can forget all the worries and other things, take a new life and continue your spiritual practice and go forward in your reaching the goal of highest God realization. Death and troubles and problems of your life is a boon. Difficulties and miseries are gift from God, says Mother Sharda Devi. When I told this, and one of our devotees went and told his brother who was suffering from cancer, he told, who told you that miseries are gift from God? I am troubled with this cancer. People can't understand it so easily. But if you analyze, you will come to know miseries and difficulties are better teachers, says Swami Vivekananda. Mother tells miseries are gifts from God. So, you can convert and you can get this wonderful idea of titiksha by these wonderful teachings of the Lord. Now, going forward, I think I have finished the time. We will conclude our thing again, telling, reading this thing, Yam hinam vyatayantete purusham purusharshaba. The Lord is speaking about titiksha or endurance. So we will continue to see what is this titiksha. We will go deeper into that aspect. Step by step we will understand what is sense control, how to be calm, how to be not disturbed by the things. So we will take a yogic look or the Vedantic look and study that Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha. And according to Swami Vivekananda too, in the next class we will conclude with the chanting of the one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam pankham langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.